Hey, Thomas here. Today you're learning one of the most awesome ninja skills out there. This is the Webster side flip, and even if this is a little advanced for you, you can stay and watch this video because we're going to be sharing with you some progression exercises to develop the athleticism for this. And this is what it's going to be looking like. Alright, had to grow out my hair for this section of the video. Just kidding, I'm actually a twin brother for those of you who are new to our channel. Now, for those of you who have been on our channel for a while, I have to address a couple of things before we get started. And that is, we have not, if you've noticed, we have not put out a flip tutorial or a parkour move tutorial in quite a little bit. And you're probably wondering, why have you guys put out some more tutorials? I know I've seen some comments down below. And the reason is this. It doesn't matter if we teach you how to do these moves, like these more advanced acrobatic movements like this, if you do not have the fundamentals to your fitness down. And so that's why we've been focusing a lot on building those fundamentals. Now, just to let you know, we're not all about bodybuilding. We're not about CrossFit or building inefficient muscle. Here, we're all about building strong, efficient, lean muscle mass. So you may not look like the Hulk, but you're going to be able to move properly and last a very long time, especially if you're older and you're suffering from knee pain, joint pain, things like this, and you want to build basic movement patterns or functional movements and things like this. That's what we're here to do. So at the end of this video, we're going to give you two resources to get started. One that's a little more advanced for those of you who are already have been with us for a while, you've built up your fitness. And then for others who are just getting started that need to build that base of fundamental strength, mobility, flexibility, and things like this. So if you're all about that, make sure to, again, subscribe, join our channel, join us on this journey. And now let's jump into this Webster side flip tutorial. Let's go back to Thomas. All right, now it's time to break down the technique. Now, before starting, if you haven't learned your side flip or your cartwheel, these are pretty good prerequisites to learn before you go into your Webster side flip. So if you haven't checked out our side flip tutorial, it's in-depth, it's awesome. You can check out in the description below. All right, so we're gonna start off with the setup. The setup is very important for our Webster flip. This is where we're gonna be generating our power and our height for our jump. So starting from the toes, working our way up, your toes are gonna be faced in the direction you want to side flip. Your knee is going to be slightly bent, not bent too far, it's gonna be just slightly bent in line with your toes here. You're going to have your hips slightly staggered here, so your back leg is behind you. It's going to be getting ready to throw up in the air. You're going to have a nice straight back. This is very important. You want to have your head in a neutral position and your back straight, and you want to try to maintain this throughout the entire flip. And what I like to do for the setup as well is I have this rocking motion. So I'll lean back before I go into the next step, and that's the jump or the takeoff. So we have our setup, now we're going into the jump. To initiate the jump, we're gonna put the weight into our front foot. Again, we're starting with that rocking motion, putting the weight into the front foot. We're dipping down with the back, again, keeping it straight. And this is where we have our arms in front because we're gonna be throwing them up and back. Some people make the mistake of throwing their arms forward. We're gonna be throwing them up and back. And during this jump is where we're going to have to coordinate a lot of our body parts to lift ourselves up to get the ultimate height. So we're going to be throwing our arms back and up. At the same time, we're going to be throwing our chest up into the air with our back leg. The back heel is going to be driving up at the same time that we're jumping off this left foot off the toes here. So that's what it's going to be looking like, the jump takeoff, okay? So a lot of body parts moving together. From there, once we start to lift off the ground, this is when we go into the third phase, that's the tuck. So to initiate the tuck, we jumped up, we're gonna be turning our shoulders and our hips to the side. So it's gonna look like this, throwing the arms and shoulders up and to the side because we're gonna be going into a side flip. From here, you're gonna grab the tuck. I like to grab underneath my hamstrings or right at the lower hamstrings. Some people like to grab in front of the shins here. Either is fine, whatever's more comfortable for you. So you're gonna grab the tuck, hold the tuck, you're gonna spot the ground, and then you're going to release the tuck, open up, and land on the balls of the feet, so that way you can absorb the impact safely. Okay, so that's the technique points. That's your setup, your takeoff and jump, your tuck, and your landing. So we know the technique now. Here are some of the most common mistakes that I see made during the Webster, and some that you might be experiencing right now, and you can change these. All right, first one is just with the setup. Many people will not have their toes facing in the direction that they want to flip. The reason why this is so crucial is, again, you have so much more stability and you can generate so much more power when your toes are in line here, in line with your joints, and you're shooting up, okay? Some people will have their foot turned in. As you see here, this isn't gonna be as stable if you're throwing in this direction. It's gonna be throwing your knee joint out of stability. It's also not gonna allow you to get as much power as you will jumping like this, okay? The other thing that I see is not keeping good alignment with the back and, neutral spine here. If you start to curve over or you're twisted off, you're not in good alignment, this is gonna take away the energy that you want to transfer into your jump. It's gonna make it more difficult to get the height. It's also going to leave you more vulnerable for injuries, tweaks in your back, things like this. So you want to focus on keeping the back straight the entire time, so that way all the energy is going through your body very smoothly, and you're able to have also more control. If you're spinning in the air, especially because we're rotating to the side, if you find that you're not able to have control, it could be because you're throwing your body out of alignment. The other mistake that I see often is with the back leg. So we want to throw this back leg in a nice perfect semicircle around, basically landing in a straight line here. Many people make the mistake of throwing their back leg off to the side here or behind them. And that's just gonna throw you off and make it very difficult to do this move. So aim to go straight back here. The last and final mistake I see is throwing the arms in front. Now, for diving front flips, things like this is great. But for the Webster, it's gonna be a lot easier to generate the height and the power to be able to rotate on flat ground if you're throwing your arms back and up. So those are the biggest mistakes that I see made with the Webster side flip. Now let's go into some exercises that are going to really, in my opinion, going to make the difference on you being able to do this flip or not. Because for me, when I first started trying to do the side flip, it took me a few years to master this, also to get the Webster form. And it was linked primarily due to the power and the strength that I had with my leg and body coordination to be able to actually get the height and perform the rotation. So here's a few things that are gonna help. First, if you have a good turnout, if you can comfortably turn out, this flip is gonna be easier. You're gonna have more control here because, like we said, you're starting off in that strong leg position to throw into the flip. If you have a good turnout, you can easily rotate, open the hips, and go sideways here. So that's flexibility that you're just gonna want to work on. This is also just good for a lot of other movements. So focusing on having a good turnout here. You can do this a few times a day, just rotating, getting good flexibility and mobility with the hips here. The other exercise you're gonna wanna do is focus on this jump, specifically throwing the arms back in coordination with your chest going up in the air with your back leg and jumping off this leg. So it's gonna look like this. It might look kind of goofy, but you're gonna wanna practice this specific exercise. Throwing up, really lifting the chest, the back leg, and jumping at the same time. That's a lot of where the magic happens. The third exercise I have for you is, of course, your mobility squat, because if you can tuck really tight, you have good mobility to be able to tuck really tight, you're gonna be able to spin a lot faster and land this flip a lot easier. So doing a mobility squat, getting to where you can perform a nice squat there. It's also gonna cross over into parkour and other athletic disciplines. Then I have an exercise that is going to help with your core strength and your quickness of being able to go into that tuck. Another very important aspect of this move. So you're gonna be jumping and tucking. All right? So jump tucks there. So those exercises, many of us can do. You can do this whether you're a beginner or you're advanced, and it's gonna be really the keys to you unlocking this flip, okay? Now let's go into some progressions. This will help you get comfortable going inverted, also going sideways, and to, master this flip. So the first progression is you're going to start off in that setup, and you're going to rock like you would, but instead of throwing the arms back here, we're going to go forward and go into a cartwheel. This is going to get us comfortable with going inverted and bringing the legs up and over in that nice semicircle that we're looking for. So it's going to look like this. Okay? Very simple, great one to practice. You're going to get comfortable landing balanced. You're going to get comfortable going inverted. You want to be able to do this very easily. Okay? Once you have that, then you're going to work on going one hand. Again, this is going to help on practicing on generating that power with the back leg, also getting that lift with the jump, and you're going to be also working on just going inverted, but with less assistance. So it's going to look like this. Rocking back and throwing. And you want to get that nice and good here. Keep on going until you can get a good lift. And with the other arm, you can even throw it back, mimicking the Webster. Okay? Then, from here, and with all these exercises, I recommend going to a gym or a soft area. I worked with mattresses a long time ago, just anything I could find that was soft. But ideally, you want to be in a gym. You can then start to elevate yourself, find a padded box, and work on doing your Webster off the padded box into another mat or into a foam pit if that gym has a foam pit. This is going to help you get used to the technique, but you're not having to, perform the same amount of jump that you do from flat ground. And then as you progress, go into a smaller and smaller box until you master it at ground level. And then you have your Webster side flip. You follow those progressions. Now, like I was saying before, the magic is going to be in those conditioning exercises. That's where you're going to see the biggest differences. That's what I saw for myself. It took weeks and months of just practicing this jump, practicing the cartwheel, getting comfortable with this, going sideways, getting comfortable going inverted, and that's really what unlocked it for me. So make sure to focus on those drills. And again, if you're advanced or if you're a beginner, those drills can help you in your athletic performance in any discipline. So that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Leave any comments down below for any more tutorials or tips you want. Also, for those of you who've been, a subscriber of ours for a while and you're more advanced with your movement, check out our 5-day parkour course. Get started in some parkour. You can also check out our crash course into parkour. Now, if you're a beginner and you know you need to develop some of those fundamentals in your fitness to be able to unlock some of these movements, then I want you to check out the link in the description that is going to be to our free body weight strength workout. This is a great workout to get you started, and then we talk more about our RPF4 method to further your training and developing those fitness fundamentals. So, as always, train safe. See you in the next video.